After almost 10 years of being the premier Mario Kart title, it finally appears like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's time in the spotlight is finally coming to a close. While no new Mario Kart title has been announced yet, the general consensus is that the Booster Course Pass was the bridge to the end of the Switch's lifecycle, and that a new Mario Kart would be released along a new Nintendo system. But if we're being serious, that sounds absolutely absurd to me. Sure, a new Mario Kart sounds like a safe option, but who are we kidding? Nintendo could work on a new Mario Kart for a whole decade and not come even close to the amount of content that 8 Deluxe has. 50 characters, 96 tracks, 8 battle courses? Well, maybe they're still slim on those, but you get the point. I see no universe in which Nintendo makes a basic sequel to this game. They're gonna pivot and pivot hard to create a game so unique and different from not just 8 Deluxe, but the rest of the series to get people looking. Let me introduce you to Nintendo Kart.
This guy stinks!
Hey, I know many of you are not exactly interested in that. Keeping Mario Kart Mario pure is a sentiment I see all over the internet. And I think for some valid reasons. You get creative tracks not based on anything other than the developers' imaginations, unique obscure characters from the series are playable, and the one Nintendo probably cares the most about, name recognition. Why change the name of your biggest moneymaker franchise? We've seen how badly that can go for some companies. But for one game in the series, I don't think that's all that bad. If you guys are really stuck on the name not being Nintendo Kart, sure, fine, call it something like Mario Kart Crossroads. But Nintendo Kart to me sounds grand and important. Something they definitely want to lean into following 8 Deluxe. So the unfortunate truth about Nintendo Kart is that I think to make it work, some pretty significant things will need to be cut.
They must have cut me.
First and foremost, most of the character roster. And when I say cut, I mean it. Only 7 Mario characters will be in this game. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Rosalina, Wario, and Bowser. Those will be the only returning characters. I know it's harsh, but we must make room for other non-Mario characters, and I don't exactly want a 100 character roster. But you may have noticed I only said 6 characters, and that's because I'm gonna add 1 character from the Mario series that hasn't made a Mario Kart appearance, and that's Prince Florian. Okay, put down your pitchforks. I know, he's obviously not as iconic as Toad or Daisy. However, some of my favorite things about these games are the weird, quirky time period specific characters that make appearances. Think Queen Bee in 7 or Funky Kong in Wii. If you really hate him, throw in Toad or Daisy, but for my roster, Florian is staying. So when it comes to the rest of the roster, I think 36 is a nice, manageable number. I'm going to name which series will be represented and what characters from said series will be in. Firstly, from the Donkey Kong series, I expect 3, and they're not exactly going to be the ones you expect. I'm adding DK, Dixie, and Cranky. No Diddy or Funky. I don't know, I just kind of want some new stuff. Why recycle old characters when you can have fresh new faces? Then for Zelda, we've got Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf. Pretty simple. Splatoon's got 4. Inkling, Octoline, Marie, and Judd. Now, why in the world would I put Judd in over characters like Callie, Off the Hook, or Deep Cut? Well, Judd's sick and I want him in. That's why. Then for Kirby, we have Kirby, Meta Knight, and King Dedede. Pokemon has Pikachu, Charizard, and Greninja. For Animal Crossing, I'll be adding Villager, Isabelle, Tom Nook, and Mabel. So now from the Yoshi series, I'm adding Yoshi, Shy Guy, and Birdo. While neither of them are technically Yoshi characters, as they both came from Super Mario Bros. 2, they just feel like Yoshi characters at this point, so that's why they're here. And then from Metroid, I'm just adding Samus, because Ridley is too big. Star Fox gets Fox and Falco, F-Zero gets Captain Falcon, and to round out this perfect 36-man roster of Nintendo All-Stars, I'm adding 2 characters from different series, but we're going to call them the Retro Age characters, and that's Rob and Game & Watch. Next, let's talk about the tracks. Firstly, we have to talk about retro tracks. I love retro tracks as much as the next guy, but after the Booster Course Pass, it just feels redundant. Like, why? We just did that for 2 years and you're really going to clog up a new course selection with recycled content instead of brand new tracks? That personally makes 0 sense. All 40 tracks in this game will be brand new and will be based on different Nintendo series. Each cup will be series specific. So for example, the first cup will be the Mario Cup with Mario tracks. The second will be the Zelda Cup with Zelda tracks. And the third will be the DK Cup with DK tracks, and so on and so forth. Now, I can hear all of you freaking out in the comments on how boring that would be. However, I think it would be the opposite. Racing on 4 completely unique series-specific tracks, each based on a different setting found in these games, would be insanely cool. The immersion of going from, I don't know, this is just an example, Pallet Town to Safari Zone to Victory Road to Distortion World would just incorporate such unique storytelling to the Grand Prix not found in any other game in the series. And at the end of that, unlocking a character from that series would just feel so rewarding. Now, I'm no 3D modeler or anything, so these are just some menu mock-ups I made. But I'm gonna go through and talk about some sick ideas I have for some tracks, and be sure to let me know what track ideas you have in the comments. Firstly, we have a Mario Kart Wonder track. Preferably one based on Piranha Plants on Parade. No level and no video game has ever made me smile and laugh like that level did. And having a track devolve into chaos with Piranha Plants walking all over the track and singing would just be hilarious. Next, for the DK series, I want to see a track in the pseudo 3D art style from the old country games, like from the SNES. We saw what Nintendo was able to do with Yoshi's Island, so let's see a Donkey Kong Country track in action. For the Zelda Cup, I think we have to have something from Tears of the Kingdom. Personally, I think we should have a Mount Wario-like 3-part track with one lap taking place in the Sky Islands, one taking place in the surface world, and the last in the depths. I think that would be so fun and really explore the massive nature of that game. When it comes to Splatoon, there are plenty of maps I could choose from, like Port Mackerel or Kelp Dome. But in my opinion, Blackbelly Skate Park is the perfect track for Nintendo Kart. Imagine all the half pipes on this track. Oh my god, I'd literally be in heaven. For Kirby, we have to have some throwback to Air Ride. Maybe even a course based on the city trial mode everybody loves. That would be so sick. To give Animal Crossing a unique track, I believe a perfect idea is one based on the Dream Suite. What if every time you boot into a race, the layout is completely unique, sorta like Excite Bike Arena, but this time much more visually diverse? It would be such a unique experience each time and lead to so many fun and refreshing experiences even on your 100th playthrough. I would say they should make a course based on Crafted World because that game has really cool visuals, but that game just blows and I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I'm choosing Woolly World. I think there are so many cool ways you can implement the yarn mechanic into this course, along with all the Poochies acting as obstacles. Metroid Dread is up there with Mario Kart Deluxe as one of the best looking games Nintendo has ever made, so it would be a match made in heaven for a Metroid track to come from this game. I think Planet ZDR would make the perfect Metroid track. In 8 Deluxe, Nintendo really wanted their Rainbow Road to be based on a space station, and although most people don't think they quite stuck the landing, I think they can with this next track from the Star Fox series. Orbital Gate sounds like the perfect option for Star Fox. As most of their missions take place in space, Orbital Gate will ground them to some solid satellite. And if we can't have Orbital Gate, let's get Corneria. Now, for the one many of you have been waiting for, what's the next F-Zero track going to be? With the release of F-Zero 99, there's been a resurgence in hype around this series, and whether or not the next game is Nintendo Kart, I definitely believe we'll be getting a new F-Zero track. Big Blue and Mute City are by far some of the most popular tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And in my opinion, I believe the next F-Zero track is going to be Firefield. Firefield is a new track to F-Zero 99, and it delivers on all levels. It's got a super fun layout, and if we could see a nod to the Skyway on this track by spreading super sparks all over the track to open up the shortcut, I think this track would be a near lock for this game. And if you don't believe me, listen to its theme. So those are just a few ideas I had for tracks, but if you really enjoyed that, be sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more ideas for Nintendo tracks. I would literally do this all day. Now, I have one more secret mode, and I'll bring it up in a second, so stay tuned. But before I do, let's talk about some items that we could see added to the game. In my opinion, I could see it being something similar to Double Dash, where each character of a certain series would get a special item. To start off, let's talk about Splatoon's special item, the Booyah Bomb. While the blooper has been a mainstay for years, most people at this point know it's one of the most useless in the series. Bringing the mechanic into the modern era with the Booyah Bomb from Splatoon would without a doubt make this a better item. It would act as a localized lightning bolt that also covers your opponent's screens in ink. Next, let's add Game & Watch's hammer. My favorite part of his character in Smash is his RNG hammer. Rolling a 9 at the last second to win a match is by far one of the most satisfying things you can do in gaming. So bringing it over to Mario Kart and adding even more random chaos to this game would just be indescribably cool. Now, I knew I had to add something from the new Zelda games, and while at first I thought about adding Stasis or Cryonis, by far the funniest one and most powerful is Recall. Now, imagine someone hitting the gap jump on Mushroom Gorge and about to win a race when all of a sudden you hit them with Recall and they reverse what they did for the last 5 seconds. Would that be entirely broken and unfair? Sure. Would it make for some amazing moments? 100%. Now, if we're adding an item from Animal Crossing, we have to add the Party Popper. It would basically be a weaker super horn that couldn't break items, but it would stun racers as you drive by them. Now, this next one's a bit weird, but just hear me out. It's a Yoshi tongue which grabs another player in front of you and then uses them as an egg blocker behind you. They would still be moving forward as they'll be riding along behind you, but they won't start racing again until the egg has been broken. Now, maybe not the best gameplay wise, as one player will basically be in timeout until they've been saved, but it's just a really funny idea. Another similar idea I had was from the Pokemon franchise, and it's a Pokeball. Pretty much you throw a Pokeball at another racer, and if you hit them, they get stuck in it and have to mash out to escape. It would be tricky to use, kind of like a green shell, but if you're able to pull it off, the player who gets hit will end up being screwed trying to catch up. Next, what if we had a vacuum item based solely on Kirby's suck abilities, that when used will suck up any racers in front of you and shoot them out as a warp store behind the user. Again, maybe a bit overpowered, but I'm trying to come up with some fun ideas, not boring ones. Then finally for Donkey Kong, let's throw it back all the way to the arcade days and give them a barrel. Basically, once they receive the barrel item, they'll be able to spam the barrels behind them for a short amount of time like a fire flower. However, they will not break until either they hit a wall or fall off the track. So the next time you pass that part of the track, there will still be some barrels there and cause trouble for other players. So, we've got 48 unique series-specific tracks, 36 Nintendo characters, 12 series-exclusive items, all in one game. But what comes after that? Well, there's one more thing I forgot to mention. After beating all 12 cups in 200cc, you'll unlock something called the Nintendo Circuit. The Nintendo Circuit is the final ultimate test for Mario Kart racers. In it, you'll race on 12 random courses, one from each of the 12 series cups. You'll start on your home track decided by whichever character you chose, and from then on, you race tooth and nail to progress to the next round. That's because every 4 races, there will be a cut. The bottom 4 racers will be eliminated and not proceed to the next race. It's a grind. It's a gauntlet. And if you happen to have the stamina to make it all the way to the end, you'll be rewarded with something so rare and so coveted that it'll make your entire journey worth it. All your hard work will pay off, and you'll unlock an English translation of Mother 3. All right. I'm just kidding. It'll probably be something stupid like Gold Mario, but you get the point. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, please let me know if you want to see more of these Nintendo ideas put in Mario Kart. I really could have gone on forever, and I probably should have because longer videos do better, but I didn't. So if you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Go check out this video right here. It's really good.